Oh.
And Miguel, his subject is about staying motivated. He says, how do you keep your fighters motivated physically, but more importantly, mentally during an injury? Ray Longo, this is all you, brother.
Oh, wow. Great question. That's tough, but I try to get him to watch other people, the other guys training, get him to help out a little bit. Always tell him to go back, watch tapes.
Do you keep them in the gym when they're injured? I read something really interesting. It was a post by someone I follow on Instagram, Paige Van Zant.
Right.
UFC fighters, you're all familiar with Paige Van Zant. She sent a post and she's saying, hey, listen, I know I've been kind of quiet for a little bit, but she listed a couple injuries she had, some surgeries. She says, I've been healing. I can't wait to get back. I go to the gym and I cry because I want to get in there. Of course, it was very motivational, and of course, I hope she gets back in there and she does really well. But I can't help but think, at what point, what's the transition for a fighter? And you would know this, between motivating them by watching their peers train every day and psychologically hurting them by watching their peers train every day.
I don't think it's psychologically going to hurt him. Plus, again, a lot of these injuries, like if a guy's got a hand injury, these guys are pretty good. They're going to get on the bike, then they're going to work around the injuries. I think that's the first thing. So they're never going to be out of the gym. There's always something you could do. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think that's the first thing. And then when you're in the gym, I could ask them, can you analyze this fight for me? Tell me what you think. And then you got to just keep them, mentally.
You got to keep their head in the game.
You got to keep your head in the game. And like, again, an injury's, it's not going to last that long. But, like, again, if a guy's got a hand injury, there's a million things he could do.
You still want to keep them connected to the sport.
You still want to keep them connected.
Now, does that hold true if the guy has fought, lost, and was injured in that fight, where, like they give you guys like a suspension or whatever it is? Now the guy not only lost, but is still injured. Are you saying now take some time, or are you still trying to keep them engaged in
No, you're always going to give them time, whether they're injured or not injured. You can't, it's like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So you got to let them go out and, enjoy themselves. But even like those suspensions are just, they might suspend you for 180 days, but you could be back in 30 days with a doctor's note. They're just saying that's the.
Oh, so that's not
that's
a
not
hard rule.
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
They're basically saying, get cleared, but you got a 180-day suspension. So, but even if a guy won, I'm going to give him. You got to give him a little time off, because these fights are grueling, man. They go through a really hard camps, and you're never going to sustain that over and over and over again, So you got to do it. You got to give them time off, whether they're hurt or not. If they're hurt, they're going to get a little extra time, but then you get them back in there as much as possible and come up with different things they could do, and just try to keep them, like Steve said, mentally connected,
So you keep them in conscious contact with the sport.
Without a doubt, yeah. They might even work a corner while they're injured. You know what I mean? They're the third guy in the corner, so which gives them motivation to stay in there.
And motivate others.
And again, you got to remember we're a small team, so everybody's kind of connected.
Right.
So you got guys living with each other, and there's a lot of motivation that goes on there.
Thanks for the question, Miguel. You got the great Ray Longo to answer you. Good stuff.